Ended up stretching that fast out to 60 hours. And I think the wildest part of the experience is now that it's over, I'm almost excited to try it again. And I think the lesson there is when you choose to do shit that you're afraid of, you often find out that it isn't as bad as you thought it would be, and it usually ends up being pretty freaking good for you. Like, take sumo deadlifts, for example. I used to avoid them at all costs because I'm not built for them. They felt like shit, and they would murder my freaking hips. Then the epiphany hit that sumo deadlifts aren't bad for me. I was just bad at them. And if I took the time to get better at them, took the time to build my hips up so they could handle them, everything else that was held back by my hips should get better. I'm still not good at sumo by any means, but they've gone from something that was a sure way to cripple me to being one of the most therapeutic things that I can do. Whew. Doesn't feel as fast as last week, but considering coming off the fast, doesn't feel all that bad. Was that too stupid of a pun? I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna go 6 next and wake up a bit and see how we can do. Anything over 3 reps here is gonna be PR. So let's hit a PR.
Good. Come on. Let's go. You got another one in you. Let's go. Walk out. Good.
Getting okay at this. And that felt pretty damn decent, but energy's a little low after that, and it is only week 2 of the wave. So figure gonna leave a little bit of the tank for next week, move on to the stiffies. Oh. And I figure we'll start at 4 again, assess the situation, maybe go up if she feels good. I think we'll leave her there for today. Round 2, checking the rounding of spine situation out again. And haters will say that rounding on stiff legs will break my back, but contrary to popular fear-mongering, your back can get stronger. And Darrell has been recently running these back raises on the GHR and encouraging me to do them with him. The problem is that if I were to do them with him, I wouldn't be able to do them because my ass is far too weak. So That is a problem that we're going to do our best to solve. And like GHR versus 45-degree hyper, GHR is a lot less range, but it's a lot easier to put more of the work into the glute instead of letting back and ham take over. So considering that like glutes are what is lagging behind, this should be very, very, very good for me. And considering how hard this little tiny kettlebell is, probably a decent choice to get better at. Holy. Stuck. Set 2 because a 350 kilo deadlift isn't gonna lock itself out. Last set here. Big, juicy butt cheeks is the goal. Sticking to the actual plan today and running them pronated, not supinated. Get a little bit more of the spot I want to touch with them that way. Woo! And this is my let it get kind of gross pull of the day, so we'll go 6. Drop set. Whew. And gonna be less of an asshole with pull downs this week. And part of it is like I was already an asshole on those rows, but if we're thinking about leverages on pull downs at the very top, this is going to be a little bit of lat, but also a little bit of pec, a little bit of bicep, a little bit of tricep, a little bit of rotator cuff, a little bit of teres, all contributing to the pull in the top half. And the bottom half becomes pretty much all lat finishing the movement. So we want to make sure that we are getting the most of the lats and not just kind of like cheating into momentum and then like fizzling out before we get to that peak lat contraction. We want to go slow through the initiation so we can tag as much lat through the mid-range all the way to the bottom. And if you do that, they're going to feel a hell of a lot gnarlier. And once you kind of like establish this kind of pattern, that slow initial pull at a very like controlled rate, you can get a little bit more aggressive with it, still tag a lot of lat and go heavier. But again, today I'm just gonna not be an asshole and try to get the most out of the least weight that I can. And other part of the reason why we're being less of an asshole on the pull downs is today is a try to get better at chin-ups kind of day. So yeah, let's embarrass ourselves. Yeah, not very good. And like the thing is with chins, with the state of my right shoulder, I've never really been able to do them. And then like add in the pec tear, they feel a little bit sketchy in the bottom end, but kind of trying to go about them the same way that I've gone about sumos. And for this time, I'm just easing my way in, taking it easy, not pushing super hard. And the hope is that if I can do that for long enough, they are going to become good for both the shoulders. Gassing out quick. And last upper back thing we're running today, pull over top of the GHR pad, try to make the leverages a little bit gnarlier, make it a little bit harder on that thoracic extension, a little harder on that overhead reach. And if we can do that, the hope is that that bottom end of the chin up is going to feel less and less sketchy. And if it feels less and less sketchy, we should hopefully be able to do more and more with it. And I figure feeling some single leg decline sit-ups, just gonna bang them out. And the point I'm trying to make today is that even if it isn't the exact same, the reason that I used to suck at dieting and suck at dealing with being hungry is a lot of the same reason as why sumo pulls used to beat up my hips so much and why I used to think that I couldn't pull sumo. It all comes down to going at them the wrong way. Like with the sumos, I would just go from not pulling sumo to trying to max out my sumo with zero hip preparation before trying to max out my sumo. Like, no shit, it hurt. No shit, it didn't feel good. No shit, I couldn't sustain that. Same thing with dieting and being hungry. Like, I would know that I started being hungry and I would just try to almost like get pissed off at it and just like pure effort my way through and like just be like, oh, this sucks. And I just like let it compound into more and more miserableness. And it was like recently figuring out that the secret to sumos was just accepting where my hips were and then going light enough. And like, even if that meant I started out pulling sumo when I was really training it for the first time, I started out pulling 2 freaking plates and just doing slow and controlled reps until it started to feel better and better and better. With learning to be hungry, it was just being a little bit hungry and like learning to be okay training and learning to be okay sitting here thinking like, oh, I should eat food right now, but I can't eat food and that's okay. It's not a panic. It's not a my top set screwed. It's not a my session screwed. It's not a everything screwed. It's a I need to just accept that this is where it is and just be okay with it rather than trying to make it something bigger than it is. And I'm not sure if that makes sense, but there's a lot of the same philosophy on both ends, even if it isn't, the exact same thing. Either way, bottom line, do things that scare you, do things that you think is hard, because if you can figure out how to approach them in a way that is productive and doesn't just smash into a wall, you will be better for it. So peace out. Have a good rest of your day.